Photosynthesis and respiration are two different natural processes and are working complementary somehow. Plants use photosynthesis, in which they use sunlight and CO2 to produce glucose as their food. Respiration occurs in almost all organisms, in which glucose is used to make energy for various activities. Did you ever get curious from where the oxygen comes from we use daily? The oxygen we use daily is actually the byproduct of photosynthesis, and obviously it comes from plants. All organisms need the energy to survive, and that energy mostly comes from the breakdown of glucose. There are many sources of energy inside a multicellular organism, but glucose is the prior source of energy in all organisms. Respiration and photosynthesis are working complementary in nature. All this happens in such a way that plants use photosynthesis to produce oxygen. This oxygen is then used by all animals, including humans, to carry respiration on their end, which gives carbon dioxide as a byproduct. This byproduct means carbon dioxide is then used by plants to carry photosynthesis. This complementary cycle is interesting in such a way that all this happens to maintain the amount of O2 and CO2 in the atmosphere at equilibrium. Simple, right? I guess you said yes. Come go more in depth. Let us have a look at differences between photosynthesis and respiration side by side. Difference between respiration and photosynthesis. Also read the difference between virus and bacteria. What is the difference between cellular respiration and photosynthesis? Photosynthesis and cellular respiration equation are as follow. Equation of photosynthesis is C6H12O6 plus 6O2 greater than 6CO2 plus 6H2O, and equation of respiration is 6CO2 plus 6H2O greater than C6H12O6 plus 6O2. If you notice, both these equations are reflecting each other. That's why we can say that respiration is reverse of photosynthesis. What does photosynthesis produce? As photosynthesis is the process used by plants to make oxygen by using carbon dioxide that animals release through respiration. Photosynthesis produces mainly two things. First, oxygen as mentioned, and the second is glucose, which is as a byproduct of photosynthesis. This glucose is stored as starch in plants. The quantity of glucose that plants use is lower than the glucose comes out after photosynthesis. In simple words, we can conclude that photosynthesis produces oxygen and glucose. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our channel.